Welcome to the Gordox Pub, where we don't drink enough for you to get a buzz.
You are here.
Oh, yeah? You want to say something?
Hi.
Hi, Eli.
Can't go so long, but
You're going to go to school tomorrow.
no.
Okay.
he says can't go to school tomorrow.
Oh.
And everyone's like, why? He's got no particular reason. He just thinks he doesn't gonna go to school.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Catch up.
Sleep. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got one some soup.
You know, the too. You got one more.
All right.
Just like mom. Well,
You think he's going to the job site tomorrow?
Oh, okay.
make pancakes. Your mom, pancake on.
You're going to make pancakes tomorrow morning?
Yeah. Come on, sir.
He's going to make pancakes tomorrow morning. And he probably will before anybody even gets up. So.
No go. No bugging.
Does he make the pancakes like?
No, they're pre-made. He just warms them
Okay.
up. He just microwaves them.
Well, I mean, there are different levels of making pancakes. I mean, yeah, there's the pre-made ones, but there's also like mixes, and then there's actual.
Right.
You know,
Making them from scratch, yeah.
yeah.
I get it. But, like, yeah, he's not beyond the warming stuff up stage. So, when he cooks, it's generally with the microwave or he fries an egg.
My son did most of the cooking tonight, and I'm very happy with that.
No, it seems to be a trend around.
He basically did all of it. Like, I would tell him what to do a little bit, and there was a little bit that I was kind of in charge of, but for the most part, like, he cut up all the beef, and he cut up all the mushrooms and all the vegetables, and he roasted the vegetables, and he made the mashed potatoes, and I made the butter noodles and finished off the beef. It's what my wife calls drunken beef because it takes a good chunk of wine, and no one in this house drinks wine, but the cheapest wine I could find was this big jar. So I bought the big jar, and I don't know if wine goes bad. I don't drink enough of it.
Well, I don't know if it goes bad either, but I know that, older the wine, the better it's supposed to be.
Well, yeah, but I'm opening it, so I don't know. But it was good. I mean, it was.
Well, there's methods of resealing it nowadays.
Oh, I know. But it wasn't. I mean, again, it was cheap wine, and everything was
cheap wine.
Well, I was ready to dump it out. My wife's like, "Nah, just recork it." Like, all right. But man, I never had parsnips growing up ever. But I think roasted parsnips are one of the greatest vegetables in the history of ever. And so good.
I can't really comment on that at all.
Okay.
I don't know if I've eaten parsnips per se.
Well, my wife and I went through this phase when the boys were little, and my wife was staying home, and she had time to mess with like canning and all kinds of stuff. And we started experimenting with different vegetables that we had never had, and just parsnips is definitely one that once roasted, I was like, this. I don't know why my parents my parents always said I was a picky eater, but I'm like, am I a picky eater, or did I just want something different? So, although it's kind of funny because the last time I made buttered noodles, I wasn't really paying attention and I made a mistake. And instead of adding evaporated milk, I added condensed milk, which has a much sweeter flavor. And I made them taste okay, but it was still sweet. And so whatever. So this time I made them right with evaporated milk. And my son's like, oh, I like the other ones better. You are crazy.
I'm gonna pile some more crap on my desk.
Okay.
These
Oh, yeah.
are French curves.
Yep.
That's for the public that don't know. What they do is allow you to, if you get the right one, they allow you to get the right angle every time for certain curved points. Yes, sir.
Sorry, my turn.
Making a point.
We call Logan. Do that.
You call Logan?
Yep. Tell him about no soul. We.
Tell him about no school.
Yeah, we said.
Well, the thing is that you can go to school.
Well, no.
Mom did not say no. We were talking about it earlier, remember? What is it that you don't want to go to school for? You can. You can, you just don't want to. And that's why I said, what is it that you don't want to go to school for? This will be good.
I'm laughing at you and your French curves. Just because I always found them annoying as hell.
Well, I do find them annoying only on one aspect, and that's the aspect that you'd have to find the right spot to make it fit. But to be fair, if I'd have drawn this in pencil with the French curve, I wouldn't be having such a hard time right now.
That's true.
But it's not even that hard because I can make adjustments.
Yeah.
Because I'm creating this and nobody says it's right or wrong. And these points are subject to change at any time, right? So.
Right.
I only need them for the long points, you know, because I can't just smoothly draw them. Otherwise, I would. I'm wondering if, I think part of the problem is I'm trying to draw onto a clipboard or on a clipboard.
Oh.
You find the right French curve and it'll actually make your job a lot easier. Like, because I used this one the first time, I saw a real cool trick that David Williams did on the Greybeard that I had never thought of, but now I am dying to use. But I've got to use it on something that I'm not serious about because I've never tried it before.
Okay.
But yeah, he had an area that he was doing feather lines in, and it was on a face. So he took some masking tape and put an edge on one side and an edge on the other side where the white was going to be, and then he just went and then pulled it up. And it was great because it stopped where it needed to be stopped because the tape stopped it, right?
Right.
But I have never seen that done in inking before. And I was like, obviously impressed. So because these are organic, they don't have to be precise lines at the tip.
Okay.
I can mess around a little bit with them. I can have a squiggle or then you're an extra point. I guess I'm saying that sometimes that's intentional.
Well, we have at least 2 viewers, one of which is me. Well, no, we have 3 viewers, one of which is me, I'm sure. So,
So we
Big
only need
Walrus.
to apologize to 2 people, right?
yeah. Well, now it's down to 1.
Because you said something.
Well, it's because Big Walrus said, guys, I just hear music, but I think you're talking. I don't know if we were or not.
That volume is not up that high.
I agree. I'm just letting you know.
Do you have Twitch open?
Yeah, but hold on a second. Oh, that ought to be interesting. My Twitch is muted because, you know. Oh, hold on a second. See if this works. Oh, I have no idea if this is going to. Because, oh, God. Nope, I have no idea. None whatsoever. Oh, well, there you go. Hold on. Yeah, we're fine. That delay. Trying to figure out how to not hear the music from StreamYard. I hear it through Twitch.
Well, you could silence it through StreamYard. You could, use a tab.
Alright.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to mute.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
waited for the delay. And it works fine. But I have a feeling we weren't talking. But it sounded fine on my end when I muted the tab and everything else. So, or even just waiting for the delay. So I'm loud enough. I mean, I don't know. You seem loud enough.
That's the thing that sucks about French curves.
What?
Which one did I use? Especially when you got like 30 of them. This is the one because I can't fit it.
Ugh.
So, yes, besides the discussion that French curve sucks, especially if you don't know which one you've used,
Yeah.
I'm going to put all the other ones away because that way I know which ones I've used. They are actually the proper way to make sure you're inking your lines right. And really, if there's a lot of people out there that wouldn't have known that unless I said that, but that's how a lot of inkers do it. They'll use a French curve. I want to qualify that by not all inkers, but the ones that I know of. In comics, these are called line weight. They add a little bit of a dimension, bringing it into the shadow. This one I didn't want to make so thick, but I kind of missed the mark by a little bit. But it kind of shows it going down out of the light too, so you're seeing a little bit of the form turning. So the thickness of the line too, like when I'm doing the veins, I'm only doing certain parts thick, and then I want to taper the rest of them, and that shows where the veins are thicker.
Well, we're going to lose a viewer, I think, because I don't think my computer can handle it. Part of the problem is that my other network was on that, like it's, I don't know how else to explain this, but the router has to be on the part of the wiring that's, I still haven't figured out why it won't run. Other than it's an old house and probably just needs to be, like I should just run new wire through the house, but I can run the wire and I can wire the outlets, but I can't do the connecting to the box. I mean, I suppose I could probably find a YouTube video on it, but that sounds kind of scary.
My cousins have a kid that's an electrician, and yeah, he probably wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
I've known my fair share of electricians too, so.
Well, I worked with Rhonda's uncle, who's an electrician. And that's why I know I can pull the wire, and I know I can wire the outlets. But, you know, because that was the kind of kiddie stuff he would have me do. But, yeah. We called him up when we were having problems with the outlets. And we got as far as we could. And he's like, well, you're going to have to go into the house and look at the wires. Which is cool and all, except for I don't know what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to have to hire an electrician.
You can volunteer to help?
Well, he's in Ohio, so he might be as close to you as he is to me.
No.
Well, he's just about in West Virginia.
Yeah, well, if you look,
I don't know where.
You'll find probably not. I mean, I guess there's an off chance, but I would be surprised. Because I've made that trip pretty much, you know. So, when we were talking about what you were saying, I want to phrase this wrong because I don't want you to think that I'm attacking something you said, but I'm not. When you were talking about noir,
Yeah.
because you went back and forth on a couple of different looks.
Yeah.
I like the idea of noir because remember I was saying like I had an image that I wanted to talk to you about, but I don't know for some reason that was the episode we just didn't get along. So that episode no longer exists. I deleted it because it didn't have any value for anybody.
Okay.
But anyway, what I wanted to say that like when I read that in the script or read that in the possible script, I don't know whether there's more than one script now or what, but when I read that, I told you I had already had an idea, and you were saying, well, we could do this in black and white, right?
Yeah.
So when you said noir, I was thinking what would really, really be cool is to do it in grayscale, except for certain scenes, and then have that be in scale but in red. So it's looking through Mastiff's eyes at night or in the darkness. You know what I mean? So he's got like a heat vision or a, I don't know. It doesn't have to be a heat vision, but I just thought it would be cool to have most of it in black and gray, and then some of it scale, but scaled in reds. But I was thinking that would be awesome, like an infrared type vision or something. And I guess it didn't really have to be Mastiff per se, but that's kind of who I envisioned because naturally that's our character, right? So
Okay.
I thought it would be cool. So like if you keep that in mind when you're writing, you could think of maybe reasons for using that red scale. For a few panels or a page or something. So, like when Frank Miller did Sin City, he did black and white and basic color. There was red, on Goldie's lips, yellow on Goldie's hair, blue on Goldie's eyes, and the yellow bastard was yellow, right?
Right.
But other than that, everything else was black and white. Like, everything that you didn't want to intentionally accentuate
Right.
was black and white. So I thought that that would be cool, but instead of just doing it flat colors like he did, to, expand on the color. No, expand on the values with the color.
So I saw a video today that said in physics, purple doesn't exist. That purple is 100% made up in our brains. But it doesn't actually exist beyond that. That we have receptors that can recognize red and can recognize blue, and something in between should be green apparently, but since we have a green sensor and it's not green, our brain makes it up and just makes purple.
Yeah, that's interesting and sounds like bullshit to me.
It was an interesting thought. I was like,
it sounds like bullshit to me because everybody sees it the same. And not everybody's brains are wired the same. So, I mean, obviously I could be wrong. But sounds like a whole bunch of crap. I've heard other colors like that too, and if you really want to get technical, everything is perceived as something. They say that we see things upside down, and our brain reroutes them to right side up. Well, I'm like, well, how did you come up with that? I mean, if you don't really see, then how did you know? Or is it just guesswork? Like telling me the temperature on the sun. Bullshit. Nobody's ever been there to take the temperature on the sun. Nobody could survive. No device could survive. Nice try. That's where me and science have some disagreement. Because science includes religion in it. They expect you to extrapolate based on theories that are just as unprovable as religion.
Well, so I just looked this up, and so here's how it explains it. If you look at the spectrum, violet is beyond the blue, but purple is a mixture of red and blue, and therefore, if you look at, again, the spectrum, midway between red and blue is green, not purple. So there's no space for purple, and yet we can definitely see purple. And yeah, it's what you're doing is you're seeing red and blue simultaneously. And there is no such thing as purple light. There is no single frequency of electromagnetic radiation that can create purple. and purple. It says purple is a kind of ungreen. It's kind of interesting.
What's really interesting is on the color wheel, what's the opposite of purple?
I think orange, isn't it?
Green.
Oh, is it?
Yes. That's why the Hulk is green and has purple jeans. Because they were big into using colors that were complementary. Complementary, for those who don't understand, are opposites on the color wheel. And if you mix complementary colors together in equal parts, you get a neutral color, which would be either browns and tans or grays.
Okay, I'm looking at the color wheel right now, and green is not opposite of purple.
Which color wheel?
I'm looking at several.
Well, I guess the simple answer to that is I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's not orange, by the way. I was wrong. My thing is
orange is the opposite of blue, right?
Right.
Like a lighter blue or whatever.
Yeah. But the secondary colors are always opposite of a primary color. And that's why I knew green and purple shouldn't work. So it's purple and yellow, blue and orange, and green and red. Oh. Well, Cat just horked up a present. Thanks, Cat. Ugh. I love when you can hear what sounds basically like a closed ketchup bottle being slowly shaken. That's the cat. That's her horking up who knows what. Stupid cat. I'm not particularly happy with my cats. Well, one of them is not really her fault, but the other cat decided to lay in the middle of the floor, and then she was swishing her tail, and she swished it right underneath my foot as I'm trying to walk past her. So that pissed her off, and I can understand that, but she clawed the crap out of my leg. Just, like, I got five scabs going on all around my ankle.
That's because you're a cat owner.
It's just because the cat's evil. I'll probably get cat scratch fever and die a horrible death. But I still, yeah. And really, the cat that did it is normally laid back. I understand that having your tail stepped on is not fun. But then again, I'm not the one trying to get stepped on. But that's just me.
Now we're all quiet again.
Yeah, sorry.
What movie did you watch?
I went and saw Phantom Menace again. Because, you know, it was in theaters and...
I remember you saying something about that now that you mention it, but
I still haven't seen it.
I would have thought you were psyched for tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Rise of the Kingdom of Planet of the Apes or something like that. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I think you're more interested in that than I am. I mean, I'm interested, but...
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm more interested in it, but so maybe it's just me, but I tend to like spectacle entertainment.
Yeah.
Like on a grand scale, and usually that's what the Planet of the Apes movies deliver.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes is based on a novel that's actually social commentary. It's a French novel. Based on, or it's not based on, it's making fun of high society, really.
Oh, okay.
The only movie that of the bunch that is anything near the original novel is Escape from the Planet of the Apes, where it's the one where the two apes come to our time period.
Oh.
But
That's where he chooses his name out of a dictionary.
I honestly, I don't remember all that well because after the first, I think, two original ones,
Yeah.
as a kid, I kind of lost interest. I liked the original Planet of the Apes, and then I liked the Meet the Planet of the Apes, even though it started getting cheesier because they had that radiated face people and all that shit.
Yeah.
But really, I lost track, and then the only thing I liked about the Tim Burton version, really, well, aside from I think the perfect character to play the general was well, I liked Tim Roth's character, and I liked Michael Clark Duncan's character.
Okay.
Other than that, I pretty much hated the fucking movie. I mean, Helena Bonham Carter, but she almost always stars in these movies that are so fucking weird. Or at least roles that are so weird. And then the more recent ones, the renewal of the franchise, if you will. I really like those, and Jonathan Lithgow really impressed me. And I didn't think he was gonna ever really impress me like he did in that first of them. But playing the father with Alzheimer's,
Right.
he did a really good job. Incidentally, I like mentioning movies that I can talk positively about. Some of the stuff that's in the trailers for the new movie
Yeah.
is politically slanted, and I'm not excited about that. But I just want to see a big spectacle movie. That's why I actually went to see, so many of the newer Star Wars movies in the movies, because they're big spectacle movies, right? But then, like, going to see them, they kind of made a joke of it, and there was nothing but the spectacle. So that doesn't excite me.
I was watching. I think it was a clip from Friday Night Tights or something like it. I know Nerdrotic was on it as a
Yeah,
panel
they're
show.
always hating on Star Wars movies.
I know, but they were watching the trailer for The Acolyte, and one of them said something that I actually kind of chuckled quite a bit about. That was there's a line in the trailer about how no force determines your destiny, or something like that. And one of them on the panel was like, it's not the force that dictates it, it's the message. And I was like, yeah, that's Disney for you. For any character that's a Disney character, it's the message that'll determine your fate.
And the irony is that Disney wouldn't have done that shit if he was still alive.
No, he would have kept everything super neutral. It wouldn't have made any. I mean, I can't think of any real.
Well,
I don't know. I mean,
Disney was focused on the kids. The only thing that I can think of that might have been construed as a leftist thing or whatever is originally Epcot Center and all that was made to be was supposed to be low income housing. That was his plan, but I don't think it was for politic reason. I think it was for kids. He was accused of being a communist, but those facts are skewed because the communists that he met with and supposedly employed, he did so at the behest of our government. And then when he found out what they were doing or what they were trying to do, he got rid of them pretty quick. So,
well, I mean, there's some political messaging in Mary Poppins. But it's kind of played for laughs. I mean, there's a little bit, I guess, but because you have that whole women's suffrage thing, and you know the bankers are kind of evil. But
yeah, but you think that that's really kind of commentary on bankers being evil, or actually trying to be down on women?
I think it's more of a commentary on greed than
Right.
it is on bankers. But
yes, and that's the association with bankers being evil is greed.
I'm just trying to see if I can steelman it to say that, you know, because it's like when they say that X-Men have always been political and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, or Star Trek's always been political. Like, all right, okay. So when I say I don't think Disney was always political, I don't. Most of what they did was just there to entertain kids.
I don't think Star Trek was either.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think it was meant to be a political message as much as Gene Roddenberry's beliefs. Which I know it's a thin line, a thin distinction, but I don't think he was trying to pound a political message as much as say, this is what it should be like. But I guess that could be considered one and the same, but I don't know if I feel that way about it. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan either, by the way, but and not a huge means I'm not really a Star Trek fan. It's okay to watch it sometimes, but I'm not sold on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know people that one of my best friends lived and breathed Star Trek, and I could never do that.
Nah. I mean, I watched Next Generation, and I've probably seen all of the original just because it used to be on reruns and there wasn't much else to watch.
Yeah, I've probably seen them all too because it was only 2 seasons.
Yeah. And then, I've seen all the movies, but I stopped watching Deep Space Nine to a certain extent, and then Voyager I really gave up on pretty quickly. And
that was the one with Janeway or something like that?
Yeah. The problem I had with that show, what pissed me off, was they have this ship which is super amazing. And they detail all this amazing stuff that it can do in the first episode. And that was the biggest piece of shit ship. Like they're always, our sensors are down. Oh, someone farted sideways and now we can't go warp. I mean, it was just so ridiculous. It had the opposite of plot armor. Whatever that is.
What?
It had plot leprosy. That's what it is. Yeah.
Plot leprosy? Like things were starting to fall off?
Yeah. Things just they break and fall apart as the plot needs it to.
Yeah, like, I really wasn't on... The Next Generation was where I just, like, some episodes were alright, but I never watched it. I was like, It was, if it was on and somebody else was watching it, then I'd watch it or whatever, but that would never be my choice.
That was back in the day when it would come on Sunday mornings. So my father and I would watch it pretty much every Sunday. And wasn't a lot else on. And there wasn't a whole bunch to do. So it was just one of those things. It was very comfortable. But
I know a lot of people they're Trekkies, that's it. Like nothing Star Trek could be wrong or whatever. That's definitely not me.
Yeah.
I found a few episodes. I've liked a few episodes, I should say. And I've liked a few of the actors. But not enough to watch it religiously. But I know a lot of people who do.
Yeah.
You just wanted to meet the cat.
What?
That briefcase that she found?
Yep.
Over in front of the inn. When she returned it to the people and they gave her the award, whatever. Come to find out these people were married by William Shatner in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like full Trekkie married them. It's the only wedding ceremony William Shatner's ever performed. Like that is ridiculously geeky. Okay.
Did you hear that?
I did. I'm not sure how I would feel about William Shatner officiating my wedding, because...
Well, if you were a
diehard Trekkie.
Yeah, I think that would make it worse. I mean, I know that's weird, but...
Well, I guess they're friends with William Shatner.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
You may kiss the bride.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy, so it's not as important, but normally women want it to be their day and everyone focused on them, not the person officiating. So,
Well, I don't know. She's saying that they got married in full regalia.
yeah.
I don't know my phone.
But yeah, it's
I'm
I
gonna
don't know. Like my favorite stuff of Shatner's is I really liked him in Boston Legal.
Oh, God, I was hoping you were going to say TJ.
No, Boston Legal. Boston Legal with James Spader. He was fucking great.
Wow.
Like we went by a giant crane. There was a giant crane, and it said "train" on the side. And I was like, they should paint Denny right in front of it.
Nice.
Because he was laughing at himself.
Elliot.
You know he was having fun with it, and that sold it for me. Like you know, if you can have fun with yourself and you can have fun with that role like that. He was playing the right wing foil, right?
Yeah.
To James Spader's left wing social justice warrior. But they managed to make Denny Crane the most likable guy on the show. Even for all his stupidity, firing a gun in the courtroom and all the excessively bullshit.
So, have you ever watched The Last Starfighter?
Yeah, I watched it in theater.
Did you know that Will Wheaton is in that movie?
I didn't, but at the time that I was watching it, I was, I think, 12 or something like that.
Well, I didn't know until I was watching the video on it.
I don't remember when it came out.
And, anyway, so I was watching this video, and they're like, yeah, and they stop on a frame. They're like, that's Will Wheaton. And apparently he had lines, but they were cut, so you can see him in the movie, but he doesn't say anything.
Well, the only Will Wheaton movie that I've ever liked was Stand By Me.
Which apparently everyone thought was going to be a big turd.
The real Barcelona.
Right.
Alright, I'm gonna cause some chaos and then go get done.
Told you she's going to get her stepdog.
Yeah. Yeah, part of the video talked about the guy that wrote the script for The Last Starfighter. And apparently he was reading The Once and Future King, and he walked into an arcade and saw kids playing a video game, and he thought, what if a video game was how you got Excalibur? And I just thought, well, I mean, I never thought of it that way. I mean, but I was like, yeah, I guess that is what the story is. It's, how do you get chosen? And I always thought that was a pretty good. It was a pretty good story decision. I don't know about the quality of the film.
I liked the film, but when it came out, there wasn't really much else.
Well, I
around
think part
that
of the
time period, Enemy Mine came out, and that's actually one of my favorite sci-fi movies to this day. And it's really weird because it kind of had a little bit of a political message going on there too, but fortunately it was disguised by aliens. Did I interrupt something? Did I make you lose a thought? Because I didn't mean to.
no, I mean, for me, The Last Starfighter, while I've enjoyed it, it still kind of felt like it was trying to be a Star Wars film. So that's where I think it falls short.
You know, I think maybe. Do me a favor. I'm going to give you a search real quick, okay?
All right.
Search the date that The Last Starfighter was made, and then search the date that War Games was made.
Okay. All right. Last Starfighter was a 1984 film.
Yep, that makes sense. That I was 13.
War Games was a 1983 film.
And that's the relationship that I made. You know what I mean? It was games that ended up being something more.
Oh, that's funny because I saw War Games in theaters.
Yep, saw that too.
At least I think I did. Oh, let me see something. Because in '83, probably would have been 5. So yeah. I saw War Games in theater.
Yep, I did. I think I think it's the second movie that I've seen Dabney Coleman in. Because I wasn't sure of how to pronounce his name. But the other one was 9 to 5.
Oh.
So I used to see 2 movies every Sunday. When I was younger, my mom would go to bingo and she'd send me out to the movies while she was in bingo. So I saw pretty much a double feature every Sunday. And I saw a lot of movies in the theater, so sometimes I was looking to see, you know, like if nothing looks good, but I had to see something because I, you know, had no place else to go and I didn't want to sit in the bingo hall. Saw Deal of the Century in the theater too.
I don't even know what that is.
Deal of the Century?
Yeah.
It was Chevy Chase and Gregory Hines.
Yeah?
And basically he's an arms dealer.
Huh.
I think Sigourney Weaver actually was the villain in that.
Well,
Or
she's in it.
supposedly villain. Antagonist. I don't know if she was specifically a villain, but I know she was opposed to Chevy Chase's character, which is ironic because that movie would never be made today because it was he was an arms dealer and you know it was a comedy. Whoa. Oh, that's why. Crap. Like my battery is running low.
Oh.
somebody didn't plug
So if
my
you disappear,
laptop in. No,
that's
somebody didn't
probably a
plug
good
my
idea.
laptop in. He plugged the plug in, but he didn't plug the laptop in, and I didn't realize that. Ultimately, it's my
Minor details.
responsibility, but he doesn't normally overlook that kind of stuff. That's why I let him do that, because that's what he likes to do, you know?
Right. Well, that's like my son was willing to cook. I was so excited. Like, he did not make the noodles tonight, but that was a new recipe that I was making, so I wanted to do that. But I mean, he really did everything else, and it just, I think he was enjoying it a hell of a lot more than I would have. And I was just so, as dumb as it sounds, I was just like, yes, do that, thank you. I kept trying to tell him thanks, but I think it was weirding him out, so I stopped, but I'm still happy that he cooked most of tonight's dinner.
No.
That's why I'm freaking out because the dog is coming in.
Oh.
I'm gonna mute for a minute because it's gonna.
Okay. So now, if I want to raise any kind of, suggestion, I can just go, if you have any problems with that, just say so. And then we'll never hear it. And then...
Well, there's a click button that I can just go, yeah, not really.
I mean, I gotta try. I just don't have anything to suggest right now, so I don't... Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Okay, this isn't good. Because if you're watching me right now, we're having some serious technical difficulties. My guess is that Rich's computer is not... Oh, there it is. He's back.
That was really weird. I went to take the mute button off and I disappeared.
Oh. I figured your battery had died or something.
No, like I said, I figured out why the battery was going.
Well, whatever. I just knew. I was like, uh-oh, that's a problem. Plus, I figure if you're not on there, I gotta say something, because, it's... don't know anyone that wants to watch a stream of my big fat ugly face just going. As fun and exciting as that might be.
So we didn't talk any writing, but I was invited to put a link in another room in the Discord that I already link in.
Yeah.
So instead of it just being the stream links or promote yourself links, I was told to put it in general chat, so I did.
Cool.
So there might be more people watching. I don't know if that amounts to anything, but
Huh.
but those would be writers, and I told them, you know, like I keep telling people that if you watch my show, basically you're welcome to put a link
All right.
to your projects in the show, because it's about growing it for everybody. And nobody should feel like they can't, because, you know, that's the reason that we're doing this thing. That's the reason we're doing this crazy thing.
Is there a piece of lead by his left cheek? Or is
No.
that already colored in?
What? Right here?
Yeah.
No, that's the line of his trap.
Okay. That's
So-
fine. It's just,
I'm trying to get the overall outside mask done.
that's fine. I couldn't tell because it kind of goes in and out of focus, and
Yeah,
you
I
weren't
imagine
working on that
every-
part.
I
It was
imagine
staying
every time
still.
that I,
So.
I imagine every time that I go in front of the camera, it wants to focus on my hand or whatever's closest.
Yeah, every once in a while.
That's the
If
problem
it
with
gets
the
bad,
audio.
I say something.
That's the problem with autofocus and being limited to 750 or whatever it is. Which I don't have the money to go up another level where I can get 1080. If I did, I could get a face cam while I'm drawing
Ooh.
and really horrify people.
They don't need to see my tongue that much. See, that's what I always think. I'm one of those people, if I'm concentrating, my tongue sticks out. So, if I'm drawing and I'm in it,
I don't really do that. Once
I
in
do.
a
I gotta-
very great while, the tongue will come out, but very seldom.
I have a scar on my tongue where I bit through it because I was climbing up the bathroom sink and slipped and caught my chin, and you know, my tongue was sticking out, so my teeth went right through my tongue. And I don't recall doing this. Like, I was young enough, I have no memory of this whatsoever. It wasn't until, like, I don't know, I want to say like second or third grade or something, and we were supposed to be doing some kind of anatomy thing, and I drew a tongue, and I put the mark that's on my tongue on that one, and then they're like, "What's that mark for?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's the. And I had no idea that not everybody has a mark on their tongue. Which could be worse. I saw a video with Patrick Stewart. And somebody, I'm going to guess it was his wife, I don't know, said something to him about not being circumcised. And he, of course, was upset because he's like, yeah, I am. And apparently the next time he went for a physical, he asked his doctor. And his doctor's like, no, you're not. So, you know, I guess there are certain aspects you never really, you know, if you're not comparing with other people.
The big reveal. Sometimes.
Well, that was a little more than I wanted to know about Patrick Stewart.
That's what I was saying. Sometimes we don't really need that big reveal.
Yeah.
Now it comes to a point in time in the show where I have to switch classes. Because the regular week readers aren't really good enough for what I'm doing, and I've been doing this for a little while. Which, I don't know, do you wear glasses at all?
Not anymore, no.
No, because after a while it makes my eyes itchy.
Oh, no, I forget, it was a couple of years ago. I think I was spending like $500 on contact lenses or something. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, how much is the surgery versus the glass? Like, you know, like, how much am I really going to spend? And so, yeah, I got LASIK. And I don't know if I'd ever want to do it again, but I'm glad that I had it done. And
yeah, see, I don't know if I could do that.
Well, trust me, if I was going to do it again, there are things that I would do differently. I would self-medicate a lot more going into it. Put it that way. Because, I mean, they give you a nighttime, like a Tylenol PM. That's what they give you. Okay? That's all they get. And then they numb up your eyes, but you're still feeling quite a bit. And you're awake for the whole thing and can't see anything, really. But you're awake. And just when you think, oh God, this is terrible, that eye is done. And that's cool and all, except for now you get to do it again. And so, I mean, I guess you know what's coming, but at the same time, you know what's coming. So, yeah, it's not pleasant. It's not something I would do on a regular basis. But, I mean, like, my wife just bought a pair of glasses. It was $500. And I was like, what? What? And that was with insurance. And I just was like, that is just stupid expensive. So I figure overall, and what I don't like about insurance companies is I'm pretty certain I'm saving the insurance company money by having this surgery. But the insurance company didn't pay for any of the surgery.
No, because insurance companies like the money going one way.
Oh, I know. But again, when I'm saving them money overall, you'd think they'd want to push that.
I know you don't like it, but you might.
About the worst thing that's ever happened after I had the surgery was
Do the best you can.
every once in a while I'll wake up and I can't find my glasses because they don't exist. And I will start to panic that I can't see, which is stupid because I can see.
One of the things I did over the last day or so is design a band logo.
A band logo?
Yep. So I may end up doing a cover painting for an album.
That'd be cool. So I don't know if I've watched enough Chuck Dixon videos because of stuff you said, but he started to pop up on my feed. And there was one I watched the other day because he was talking about Kevin Smith. And he was not all that kind to Kevin Smith. So
It's interesting because even if he doesn't like something, he doesn't usually get really upset or whatever.
well, he wasn't upset. He just wasn't kind. That's the story had
I don't-
details
Yeah,
that were not. So
Go
like
ahead.
he was. They were at a convention and they were there before the convention started and Chuck Dixon had written the Green Arrow series, and then it was going to be taken over by Kevin Smith. And so apparently Chuck Dixon had set up everything that Kevin Smith had wanted, but they had never met. And so they were both at the convention, and he went over and talked to him, and apparently Kevin Smith just looked like just was antisocial, basically. And I don't know if that's an accurate story, because one of the details is that Kevin Smith was cosplaying as Silent Bob. And I was like, well, if he's cosplaying as Silent Bob, that might explain why he didn't want to say anything. Because, Silent Bob. But it's just kind of funny, just
Well,
listening to him talk.
cosplay isn't acting; it's just dressing up like.
Oh, I understand it. I get it.
And when
I also know that Kevin Smith has protested his own movies, which I find hilarious.
Yeah,
And
for attention, I'm sure.
oh yeah, 100%. He was just making fun of it. Really, just thought it was ridiculous that these people were out protesting a film they've never seen. So he thought it would be funny to go out and join them. So whatever.
I've seen him be quite a bit of a shithead.
I think he is, I don't know, just a guy trying to make his way. I don't know. I think he'll say whatever will make himself money.
You see all this shit about him crying and fucking crying from a movie that he shouldn't have been crying from in the first place. And pretty much attacking the end of that Star Wars girl because she was like, grow up, be a man. And he's like, I spent my whole life trying not to grow up.
Well,
but he calls her out.
I think the crying thing is a little ridiculous. That's when I kind of started losing. I mean, I remember when Episode 7 came out, like with the first trailer, and, you know, I got chills. I remember that. Like, I was emotional over it. Star Wars was always a thing. You know, I mean, it's definitely got a special place in my heart. Always will.
I agree on the first three movies.
Well, yeah, the new ones don't have to have a place in my heart, but
right.
We didn't know what we were getting, and so I was like, you know, just thrilled to see this continuation. And
now, see, I could see you crying over that.
Why did you cry?
Waiting 30 years for that. 15
yeah.
years for them to produce that shit.
I didn't cry or anything, but I thought it was weird. I remember when I saw Episode 3, a friend of mine was with me, and he cried when Obi-Wan Kenobi is confronting Anakin on Mustafar. That part about, you know, you were the chosen one, you were a brother to me, and that just got my friend, and he was moved. But I was like, okay, man. I mean, it's all right. I don't know. I was not moved.
No, me either. I really had a hard time accepting the reasoning behind him turning on everybody.
Yeah, they rushed it.
He was like strangling Padme, and really, supposedly that's the excuse for him turning to the dark side, because they wouldn't let him love her in the Jedi, right? That's why he started going towards the dark side. And then he's strangling her. Because Obi-Wan hitchhiked a ride with her, she was clearly surprised. Yeah, it didn't work for me. It was a huge disappointment because I was expecting something that was going to be earth-shattering to make him change his mind, you know. But so far as I can tell, the guy who was bringing balance to the force was just an arrogant cuss that didn't get his way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that could have been done way better. And that's really... It was doomed as soon as they chose an actor as young as they chose for the first film. And that, to me, is where the problem starts. Because they had to, they had to rush through the part we actually all wanted, because they spent all this time with crap we didn't need.
If you're talking about the pod racing, that was what Lucas wanted to do because he was into racing at the time.
Yeah, but again, that's not what it's not what people needed to see or wanted to see, I don't think.
Well, yeah, it wasn't what we expected in the story because anyone that's followed it from the originals, they were promised that he was supposed to be an experienced pilot by then.
Yeah.
Not only an experienced pilot, one of the best. So when he's a kid that has not even finished a race and he's a slave, that's a completely different story than you promised. And that's that writer's promise. Since we could be talking a little bit about writing, that's important. That's why so many people do feel betrayed, because they feel like they've had a promise. I was talking to somebody, actually I think it was my physical therapist, because he's reading Dune. I'm sure he's reading it because he saw the movie, you know.
Yeah.
But he asked how I felt about George Martin. And, I'm not one to keep my mouth shut about that. So
I know.
But, I basically told him that I didn't like the idea that he didn't finish what he wrote. He's written other things instead of finishing what he wrote. Those are my main problems with Martin, really, is that he made promises to us. Again, he made promises to us, and then when he's called on it, he's all like, well, I don't owe you anything. Like, you don't think you owe the people that made you a millionaire anything? An end to the story they've been following for 20 years? You don't think that you owe them that? You think that, you should be able to just make money because you had a cool idea? And it wasn't even your idea, you were just ripping off English history and rewriting it to be fantasy? And I'm not faulting him for that, by the way. Not for how he decided what he was going to write about. I could care less. It was interesting. He knew that it was interesting, and that's why he, appropriated it. But I know that there was a lot of British feedback, blowback on it, because they didn't appreciate it. Some of them were on board, but some of them didn't appreciate it. But, yeah, the least you can do is finish the fucking story. And he gives HBO, and everybody I know that was reading the books before HBO was all disappointed that he signed a contract with HBO for them filming it because he hadn't finished it. And they were all like, oh, now he's not going to finish it. And at that point, I was like, nah, he's going to finish it, This is his baby, blah, blah, blah. And what he did was told, and I read an interview where he said it himself, he told HBO how he intended to end it. And I believe, because of the way he behaved and the way that he's behaving now about it, that his ending didn't pass muster with the fans. So he's pretending that that's not really what he was going to end it with. But he hasn't been able to come up with a real ending, so the fans don't need to know the ending. They don't deserve, to be treated with at least a little bit of respect for paying him millions, making it possible for him to do whatever the fuck he wants to.
How did you get in here, cat? Oh, come here, girl. I'd say hello to the camera. See? Kempter. Say hello. She's a pretty girl, but she's not supposed to be over here. I put a fan blocking her way, and she jumped over the fan onto my chair.
That sounds like what I want to do. Like you turn off Guess we're not that interesting today.
Sorry. We can fight.
You got it in me. You ain't got it in me to fight today.
Yeah, I don't have it in me either.
You been able to get any writing done?
Yes and no. Have I done writing? Yes. Is it any good? No.
Well, sometimes, you know, you may want to leave that up to somebody else.
I get that, but it's not hitting where I want it to hit, so it's just not right yet.
Yeah, I get you. Mark had some ideas writing wise,
Oh yeah?
which was pretty cool because it's been a while since we've been able to.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to work on my novel. And I don't know. Just can't quite make it work.
How come you took yourself off screen?
Well, because I figured out a couple streams ago that, like, I put myself on every once in a while, but nobody's here to look at me. I mean, so for the most part, I just want to keep the. I mean, every once in a while, especially when we have more people that are around to talk, I'll put my face up there. But otherwise, I figure, you know, why shrink the artwork when that's what I would assume people are here to look for. They are definitely not needing to see me, so. This way I can be a disembodied head. Or maybe they'll think it's me drawing instead of you. I don't know. I guess that's why every once in a while I pop back on screen just so people can know I am not the one who is wearing the baseball cap and drawing. Or inking, technically. But whatever.
So last time, the day after, I checked the stats
Yeah.
because I wasn't thinking about it at all when we had to shut down. Yeah, I had other business, remember. But it said that we had 19 views on YouTube, and then I checked the YouTube dashboard, and it said we had like 15. I'm like, wait a minute. And our watch hours have been slowly going down, even though we've been slowly getting more people watching.
That's weird.
I think they just don't want to pay. And from what I understand, it's not even all that much. Yeah, it is weird because you almost had like 700 watch hours, and now it's all almost 6. Like, why did you take 100 watch hours away from it?
It's proof of time travel. They went back in time and didn't watch it.
Yeah, right? I unwatched a couple hours just because I don't like to. And don't get me wrong, I'm not in it for the money. But, you know, if they would pay me enough to cover the streaming costs, that would be nice. We could get a better streaming service and do more. I guess one of us could learn OBS. Because that's the real.
Hi, Oversteer.
Hey, now we have a viewer.
Hello, hello.
Now maybe they'll stop taking watch hours away.
Oversteer, what country are you in? Since you just woke up. Yeah. But what country are you in, Oversteer? Sri Lanka. All right.
Well, that's definitely cooler than where I live.
Yeah, I know it's an island south of India.
Arthur C. Clarke lived there before he died.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, one of the things is it's more economical. Their exchange rate is way better.
Yeah.
Cost of living is nowhere near what it is here. And, you know, if you live in countries like that, then they give you medical care that we have to pay outrageous amounts for.
hey, Efrain's here too.
Oh,
Hey,
cool.
Efrain.
So he's on that side of the world too. Long time no see.
Overseer said the economy is pretty crap over there.
Yeah.
So. Ours ain't doing anything fantastic. Ugh.
All that careful planning and the lighting scheme doesn't allow for a lot of it.
So, Oversteer, we've drawn more than I don't know if we're going to use them all. So, I mean, it's kind of questionable.
What?
We have at least 4 we can pull from. Oversteer wanted to know how many characters we had.
Well, for
And some of them are
this
like
particular
there are other.
project, I have 3, but the ones that we drew before, it can still be employed in this project at some point in time.
Right.
I'm not opposed to that because I don't want to get rid of all the stuff that I've done. But the cool thing about that is anything that we don't end up using, I will probably do a giveaway for.
Or you can make prints and use it for part of Kickstarter rewards.
Yeah, we could do that. But you know, I like to give back to those who actually support the channel.
Well, that's why it's a Kickstarter reward.
Well, then
Is
that's no. That's the difference. That's giving back to the people that support the Kickstarter, which
Okay.
I won't be going on Kickstarter anyway. It'll be Indiegogo. Because Kickstarter is political. Indiegogo is somewhat political too, but
There they all are.
we well, it's less
League
so.
of the Forgotten.
And there's another one called Fund My Comic that started not that long ago because of this all this crap. Kelsey Shannon has a book on that.
So, Overseer said, so the unused characters could form a Villains League, the League of the Forgotten, and, yeah.
Well, we were thinking, well, Rose Gallery. But this character, we're probably not going to use this character.
Oh, that one.
So I may finish it off and then do a giveaway. Because it's really doing nothing but wasting a piece of comic book paper unless I do finish it off. And it's a rough, so there's plenty of room to play around with it. So that didn't end up being the look that we wanted. this is the guy that I was redrawing there, and it just didn't have the same anything to it, really. Didn't have the same feel to it. I guess I wasn't getting into the drawing as much, or I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to start, like comic book artists do warm-up sketches that you either rarely see or never see, so that they're sure they can draw the way they want to that day, so they get all their unimpressive stuff out of the system. If you follow Kyle Hote.
Oversteer, I have not seen Tales of the Empire yet. I haven't even finished the Bad Batch yet. Right, it's the flip side of Tales of the Jedi, kind of.
Every time you say that, the Bad Batch, it makes me think of that horrible movie that's claimed to fame as that Jim Carrey is in it.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Called The Bad Batch.
Oh.
It's supposed to be
better than Tales of the Jedi.
I bet you it's not.
I'm pretty sure Tales of the Empire is better than Tales of the Jedi. I don't know. Haven't seen it. I never liked the name Bad Batch. I get what it's from, but it just seems like it's, I don't know, hackneyed. The name, not the series, but the name just never sat well with me. Yeah, Bad Batch of Cookies, yeah. Overseer wants to know if we're going to watch The Acolyte. Probably.
More than likely Brett will. More than likely I won't.
Right. Yeah.
Star Wars has not been the same for me for a long time, and I feel burned by it every time I watch it. So,
well, I was tempted to make a meme because what looks like it's going to be a Sith Lord, the mask that they have for this thing, I really want to compare it to the mask. I don't know if you've ever seen the people who live under the stairs. It reminds me of the mask the guy wears. which is similar to the one that the Riddler wore in the last Batman film.
BDSM.
Yeah. So I don't know if, I mean, last time I was talking about how it just doesn't have the look of a Star Wars villain. Like I do not feel that one at all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because women are into BDSM.
All right.
So you're getting a villain that's based on women running that company.
Yeah, Overseer Riddler had a mask in the last Batman film. And
The Batman.
Yeah, The Batman. Which I enjoyed the movie. I don't think you liked it as much, but...
I own it.
Oh, okay. Well, you must
I've
enjoy it more than me.
said a number of times that I like it despite its problems. So it has problems. I just like it despite them. What?
Oh, you missed the Batman? Well, trust me, the Riddler has a mask on and the Batman.
It's like
Google
a 3-hour movie.
Well, that's...
Robert Pattinson playing Batman. I'm not giving anything away. I'm just,
Yeah. I think the biggest problem with the Batman was... Yeah, I mean, part of it comes down to it being 3 hours. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they had to include the Catwoman. And she's really not necessary for that story.
I don't think they had to include her.
Oh, I think a studio said they had to.
Well, I'm talking about story-wise.
Oh, no. I can tell you right now, story-wise, she
Oh,
does not
no.
need to be there.
The caveat is this. I think Zoe... what the hell was her last name? Her dad's a rock star.
Kravitz.
Yeah,
Zoe
Kravitz.
Kravitz.
I think she did a really good job, actually, in the role. I just didn't
Yeah.
think the role needed to be in that particular movie.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was like, I enjoy her performance. I enjoy the character, but she's making this story longer than it needs to be. And so when you start thinking about
right.
how to shorten it down, because it wasn't good enough that I was just happy for any moment I could spend in that world. So yeah, it becomes one of those things where her character was unnecessary.
My biggest problem with that movie is that the whole fucking plot falls apart when you realize that nobody discovered what the fucking murder weapon was in the first murder.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Overseer said, did you know Sam Raimi planned for a fourth Spider-Man with Anne Hathaway as Black Cat? And no, I did not know that. I mean, I knew about a fourth Spider-Man, but I didn't know about Anne Hathaway being
Saved.
envisioned for it.
And I fall on the unpopular side of that too because I like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
A lot of people like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, and I am not one of them. Like, I liked the second one. It was pretty good. But the
I didn't
first
dig
one
the
was
one with
boring.
Venom because I didn't like what's his face from that 70s show was Eddie Brock because
Yeah.
Eddie Brock is a big dude, and that's why
Yep.
Venom is a big dude.
Toby was peak. Ah, goodness.
But the first one I was fine with. I don't. Okay, so I didn't really like Kirsten Dunst for that role.
Oh, that's funny.
That's one of the nags, I guess, one of the nits.
Okay.
But like on the overall, I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought Tobey Maguire, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was the right person for Peter Parker. I don't think that any of them that's played him since has done a better job as Peter Parker. And there's a very small pool that I think that could have played him as well. As far as Spider-Man goes, he could have been CGI the whole time and nobody would have known, right? It's just...
Oversteer said Andrew Garfield had mediocre writing. I agree. Plus, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man isn't really Peter Parker.
Yeah, he doesn't look like Peter Parker. He doesn't behave like Peter Parker. He's way taller and lankier than Peter Parker appears in the comic book for most of the comic book. So there are discrepancies, I guess.
I have never seen the Japanese Spider-Man with a gun.
Oh, I've seen the Japanese Spider-Man. The Japanese Spider-Man's a bad guy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll look up a video for you when I get a chance, Brett. But there's one of him doing like backflips and fighting, and it's like I want to say the Hulk and Thor, and there's a couple other Marvel characters, but they're all villains.
Well, when it came to the Sam Raimi films, the first one, there are some physical inconsistencies that don't make sense. And it completely ruins any chance it has at building suspense. I guess I was never worried. I don't know. For as much as I love the Green Goblin.
Spider-Man? You watch Spider-Man to be worried?
No, but I should believe that the villain could win, and I never did. And some of the stuff that was going on.
Believe it, or is it you just didn't like the villain in the way that he was portrayed?
No, it's it just doesn't make you're punching a helmet, and
right, but the strength that Spider-Man's got
should either have destroyed the guy in the helmet, or he's getting hurt. Like, he punches the helmet and he's like, ow, my hand. And it's like, this dumb. I don't know. Green Goblin was way too stiff. I'm glad when they brought him back, they didn't put him in that same stupid mask. And, I just wasn't thrilled. And then the third one, too much going on. Venom was messed up. And they made me appreciate the Sandman a lot more. That could have been a better movie if they had focused just on the Sandman. But whatever. Now the second one with Doc Ock, that one I thought was really good. I thought it worked.
Oversteer, but Planet of the Apes is incredible. All three were perfection.
I'm assuming you mean all three Sam Raimi things. Or maybe you are talking about Planet of the Apes. I don't know. My biggest problem with Planet of the Apes, which I've enjoyed though, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the old ones. I enjoy the new ones. Okay, so I am not dissing Planet of the Apes, but in the revamped one,
Well,
where they,
I know that feeling.
well, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, these apes can just like, if we wanted to hunt them down, we would have hunted them down. Like the numerical superiority alone, just they're not escaping anywhere for long, and the fact that they do is just it's the one time in the story where I have to go, sure, okay, I'll, you know, it's the stretch of my belief.
Well,
It's the one I'll give them.
It's the piece of bologna, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed one piece of bologna, and that's the piece of bologna. Like, so
Well-
when I was saying about Spider-Man, before I forget, is that I don't read the Spider-Man comic book and expect to see that he's going to lose to anything or anyone. The closest that I've ever felt that he was going to lose to anyone is Kraven, which he killed and then he whined about for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But, so, I didn't watch Spider-Man for the expectation of the bad guy. You watch Spider-Man to see how he juggles his responsibilities and how playful he is. That's a little bit that was missing in those movies, is that you didn't have, like, so when Batman came out, the first one with Michael Keaton, in the Spider-Man comics at that time, Todd McFarlane was drawing Spider-Man. So Spider-Man grabs this guy and he hangs him over the edge of the building, and he's like, I'm Spider-Man. And you didn't get any of that in Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Like, Tobey Maguire was really good, innocent, bumbling kind of kid, but he didn't have that. He didn't have that really sarcastic.
Andrew Garfield was better at it than he was.
I don't know that he was good at anything.
Oh no,
I
I
don't-
liked him.
I
He
don't
just
mind
wasn't really
dissing.
Peter Parker. But
Yeah, I don't want to diss him, but I just,
I thought his Spider-Man was more Spider-Man.
I didn't care for that movie. Yeah, because it was CGI.
Well, that's okay. Overseer
Most of-
said,
Most
did you?
most of it was CGI. So.
Overseer asked, did you say he killed Kraven? And yeah, he did. After Kraven,
In the comic books, he killed Kraven.
yeah, in the comic books.
Well, I just want to be clear that when I'm talking about him killing Kraven, it's not like the movie thing; it's a comic book thing. He killed Kraven, and literally for 20 years, he was whining about it, and that's why he was like stopping the Punisher and getting in the way of everybody else that could possibly kill somebody, because it was like he had done it, so it was wrong.
In the comics, Kraven hunts down Spider-Man and buries him. Like literally buries him in a grave and everything, right? And Spider-Man has to claw his way out, and then Kraven and him fight, and yeah, he ends up killing him.
Yeah, he has to. The reason that he kills Kraven is because he can't avoid killing Kraven and survive.
Right.
I don't know, because it's been a long time.
Oh yeah, that is an old one.
I don't know if Aunt May was involved in that too, like, because Peter had to have really good reasons to kill him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he killed him and he whined about it for 20 years. I think he killed a second person after that, didn't he? I just don't remember who, because I, kind of fell out of reading Spider-Man after a while. And that's kind of what I was getting at with the movie. Spider-Man's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be really kind of kid-oriented. I mean, there is some dark stuff that goes on, but that dark stuff really can get missed by kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
but
don't see it the same way as an adult would see it.
when when
And
you
I
look
think
at the
that's what
Sam
the
Raimi
intent
stuff,
was.
you say Spider-Man's supposed to be fun, but Tobey Maguire doesn't have the wit that Andrew Garfield does.
Well, to be fair, the writers didn't put that wit in there.
Well, that's fine, but you're saying Spider-Man's supposed to be fun.
And that's exactly what I said I had a problem with that for, right?
right.
That was
and
my
that's
issue.
I would say that
I guess I didn't say wit, but that's really
Right.
what I meant.
and I'm just saying, for me, it all factors in. It wasn't as fun as it could be, and it wasn't as suspenseful as it could be. I mean, for me, it was boring. That's just, there was nothing for me really to enjoy.
I just,
For
me, I don't expect Spider-Man to be realistic at all.
Yeah, I didn't say. Well, I don't know, but
Well, you said believable, and I don't expect it to be believable at all. So to me, I guess that's the same thing. Where it is not for you, but it is for me. It's like the same
I
thing.
think I'm not saying it's not believable in there, because again, the guy getting bitten by a spider and becoming Spider-Man makes no sense. No, I'm saying I felt like the in-world rules were violated.
Spider, not just a spider.
Yeah. But I still feel like the in-world rules were a little looser than I would have liked. Overseer thinks that we're going to get into a fight.
No, I don't think we're going to get into a fight because we've already clearly established what we do and don't like in these movies. And really, I say 100% of the time, I don't care if somebody else likes something. I'm not going to fight over whether or not Brett likes something that I don't. That's never the source of a fight. The source of a fight is if we passionately believe something. That's a different story. Like when we get into the passionate belief section, that's where we tend to, I don't know, get heated. I don't know. Sometimes I'm even surprised that that's happening. I'm like, that's happening?
Well,
Okay.
even last time, I was just like, I mean, later on that night, I'm like, I don't know why we were fighting.
Yeah, I didn't understand it at all. I'm like, and then when you left, I'm like, I guess it's a short stream.
Well,
I didn't know what to say after that, but
I don't know what was going on, but I felt prone to take offense to it, and I was like, you know what?
yeah.
This would be better if I just said, "See ya." It's like that's. And so I think we've both agreed to basically forget about that.
Yeah, it doesn't really exist anymore.
It's part of the creative process.
Right. Sometimes it's like we've heard about editors, right? That sometimes it's not that your story's got a problem. Sometimes it's just that you're having a bad day, or you just broke up with a girl who has the same name as the lead character in your story, or
Yeah.
anything can flavor it. And I think that's kind of what happened last time. The last time that we had a disagreement like that is, I don't think I was even really sure what it was about, but I know what it was about. I was trying to ask a question, and I don't know how it got dismantled, but I was just trying to find out an answer to a question. So I'm guessing that you weren't having the best day. And then, because I have been having a pretty good day, because I had just brought Eli home from the hospital.
Yeah, I remember. Anyway, moving on.
Right. Just explaining, And if you can't remember why, right?
Yeah.
That tells you something. It wasn't that important if you can't remember it.
I have a question for you, and this is a writing question, I guess, but it pertains to films. Oversteer, we have no idea who the potential publishers are. It's probably going to be us.
Us.
Yeah. Yeah, I only know Dark Horse and Marvel. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah, Marvel's out. Marvel wouldn't
this-
publish it.
This is an indie thing, for sure.
Well,
but,
Dark Horse did Sin City. So they do tend to take on some independent stuff. IDW does too. But yeah, I really think we're in agreement that with where we want to go or want to be able to go,
Right.
we can't
We want to keep it to ourselves.
we can't be restricted by somebody else's
Yeah.
ever-changing politics.
So, you've talked about how you don't like the movie Memento. Because, and you can correct me if I'm paraphrasing this wrong, but you said it's a gimmick.
Well, first of all, I didn't say I didn't like the movie Memento. I said most screenwriters I know don't like the movie Memento
Okay.
because it's a gimmick. Because if you rolled it forward, it would be cliche.
Okay.
And
So, I wanted to establish that, because that's what I want to
Okay.
get to.
for me, I
So-
agree with him because I've seen it once they mentioned it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just want to just clear up that if I say something that sounds bad about a movie, it doesn't mean that I didn't like it, but it just means that there are things about it that could have been, I don't know, better. But that movie
That's fine.
works because it was a gimmick.
Okay, so and I'm just I want to talk about this gimmick. Like I'm establishing terms so I understand something. But
Sounds like you want to fight.
well, okay, so that's a gimmick.
Let's fight over the gimmick.
But
Yeah.
so if you look at like a movie like Highlander, which it's a bunch of guys swinging swords. It's really just the. I mean, to me, that's kind of a gimmick there. That it's, oh yeah, we have to fight and cut off each other's heads. There's no
Yeah,
real
except for
reason.
that's not a mundane story if you take the fact that they cut each other's heads off out of it. Because it
What
had
would be
like
lucky?
10 seasons on TV without cutting anyone's head off.
Oh, they cut off people's heads off like in every episode.
And they pretended to, but whatever.
Just saying.
I don't think that's the same thing that I'm talking about at all.
Okay, and that's what I'm getting
That's
at.
okay. I mean, like, if you want to do that, then almost every movie's got some kind of gimmick, but
Okay.
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that it's a mundane plot altogether.
Okay.
If you take away that gimmick.
All right.
And I'm not saying that that didn't work for me because of the gimmick. I'm just saying that when somebody pointed it out to me that if you watch that movie backwards, if you take those pieces backwards, it's pretty much a run-of-the-mill, just somebody kill somebody story, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't like it, and I'm not saying I didn't like it, because I did like it. It's just somebody else pointed that out, and I had to agree with him after I, saw it, and I've seen it enough times.
Oversteer's back. What about Hellboy?
What about it?
I enjoyed the first two Guillermo del Toro films. The
I enjoyed the first
newest
one.
What?
I enjoyed the first one. The second one was meh.
Okay.
It wasn't, like, I'm not going to say I hated it, but it just, meh.
Well, yeah, but the newest one,
Right.
with the guy from Stranger Things.
Right. David.
Yeah,
whatever
David
his name
something.
is.
That was like,
Harbor? David Harbor?
yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, okay, so the latest one of David Harbour was mid. Yeah, it was really disjointed and didn't really seem to make a lot of sense. Like it,
I don't think David Harbour has the same charisma in that much makeup. And that sounds weird, but when I think of, oh shit, I can't remember his name.
the other
Ron Perlman?
Yeah, Ron Perlman.
When I think of Ron Perlman, the first time I ever saw him was playing Beast on Beauty and the Beast. So I'm kind of used to seeing him in some makeup,
Oh,
And then I saw him in The Island of Dr. Moreau. So he's kind of, I think he's accustomed to acting in makeup like that, and heavy makeup and prosthetics and stuff. David Harbour didn't strike me as comfortable. And I think they tried to make that a lot more serious.
Yeah, I felt like
Or
the
not
David
mistaken.
Harbour version, he was more of a your typical bumbling adult male from American television, whereas the Ron Perlman version, he's more of a man-child in a way, more of a teenager type.
It's that charisma I was talking about, because I feel like it was very, very reminiscent of Army of Darkness. Like, it was a Bruce Campbell feel. First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me. Whoa. That's the kind of charisma he had.
yeah. Oversteer said first he saw Perlman was in Pacific Rim, and did you know Cronin was the inspiration for the Katana Devil in Chainsaw Man?
Was the inspiration for what?
The Katana Devil in Chainsaw Man?
Well, of those two, I only know of one. So that would be an automatic no. Cronin. I'm missing something that I shouldn't be, right? One of the characters from... Is it one of the characters from Hellboy?
You guys haven't seen Chainsaw Man. No, I have not seen Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man is the one I recognize, though I haven't seen it. I don't recognize Katana Devil. Oh, that's in Chainsaw Man. Never mind. Cronin, was that the... Oh, that was the guy with the pompas that were blades that basically...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a minute. I knew I
Oh,
knew
yeah,
I knew
until you
it.
said that. Yeah.
Yeah, the German.
Yeah, like the
Bad guy.
coolest part of that whole movie.
I don't know. I like Ron Perlman in that movie.
I didn't say Ron Perlman was bad. I just said that Cronin was the coolest part of that movie. So, you know,
Yeah, I kind of like the gun too.
Okay.
It's absolutely bullshit, but I still like it.
Yeah. See, that's probably like you said. The second one was okay, but the second one has that scene. Oh, I forget the guy's name, but he's got a big, huge hand that shoots it on a chain, and so it's that hand versus Hellboy's hand. You know, it's just dumb fun. So there are parts of that I really enjoy.
Isn't that supposed to be? Yeah, maybe that's the person.
oh goodness.
One that's
Wink. Yes.
say that
Wink. That was the guy with the big hand. Yes. He's one of the fairies, or wherever that place was.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I kind of was like, the
Yeah,
fairies
but-
didn't impress me. Not much at all.
I just like that fight. But Oversteer said that Chainsaw Man is an anime, one of the Shonen Jump's Dark 3. Shonen is an action manga publisher. The other Dark 3 are, yep, those words, and Hell's Paradise. So Hell's Paradise is my personal
Jujutsu
favorite.
Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, that's what that meant. I was like, I don't know what JJK is. Jujutsu Kaisen is overrated. I guess that's the JJK. Yes, but the big hand guy was Wink. Yeah. I enjoyed that fight. The rest of that movie is, kind of it's pretty. It's one of the things you can kind of count on with.
Yeah, I
Guillermo
wasn't
Toro.
impressed. I wasn't impressed with the elf character.
Yeah,
But to be fair, I haven't read enough Hellboy to know whether or not that those are actual characters in Hellboy, the actual comic.
Oversteer said I can rage for hours why I hate Jujutsu Kaisen. But he says, I like the Tooth Fairy. Yeah.
Tooth Fairy's eating everyone. Yeah. I mean, some of those things, I don't know. I mean, if you watch, there's this Pan's Labyrinth. That's it. You can see a lot of the same stylistic choices, and
I had mixed feelings on Pan's Labyrinth too.
I thought it was neat looking. That's
Yeah, it was visually alright for the horror crowd. And I generally like the Toro's work, really, honestly. I even liked Crimson Peak. Like, I know a lot of people that were like, but I liked it.
Oversteer said, Tooth Fairy's eating everyone, 19th century Dark Woods. Abe Sapie said that about the Tooth Fairies, or was it 60? I don't know.
Have you seen Carnival Row?
Yes. I thought that movie was fantastic.
Well, it was a miniseries. We did 2 seasons.
Wait. Then no, I'm thinking about something else.
What am I thinking
Well,
of?
Orlando Bloom and that chick that was in The Valerian, but I can't pronounce her name.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. If you haven't seen it, you want to watch it. It does have a political leaning, but oh yeah, I've seen that a long time ago. That's actually my favorite Jim Carrey movie.
Oh, okay.
With Carnival Row, if you watch that, it's completely fantasy. It's right up your alley too, because it's set in a kind of pseudo-Victorian era, but like a right after a pseudo World War One, and it's got fairies and werewolves and different creatures in it that are very different from what you normally see. I think if you watch, like the opening of the first episode, if you watch that, you're going to be like, "Oh, that's badass."
I was thinking of Nightmare Alley when you said Carnival Row. So, no, I have not seen Carnival Row. Although I still stand by my assessment of Nightmare Alley.
I have not seen that film, but Carnival Row is fantasy. I don't know what Nightmare Alley is, but it doesn't sound like it's fantasy.
It's not. It is. It's noir. But it's a Guillermo del Toro film. So, I mean, it is beautifully shot. It's great.
You're going to have to message that to me on Discord so I can look it up when I get a chance to do anything other than write or...
Nightmare Alley is not the one with Freddy Krueger. That's the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Nightmare Alley is about, I'm going to guess the 20s. I suppose it probably tells me if I really wanted to look. But it's this guy who does a hypnotist type routine or a clairvoyance type thing. And he gets involved in this kind of seedy underworld type thing, and it's just it's
Eyes Wide Shut of Mesmerism.
Yeah, mentalism. That's what I would say. That's probably the more modern term. Yeah, not Freddy Krueger. Two vastly different tones.
Man, I'm dying to try that trick.
what about
the one I told you that I didn't want to try until I had a chance to practice with it.
Oversteer, if you've never seen The Shining, you're talking. Well, if you want to watch a faster paced version, watch the remake.
Which remake?
Oh, there's been more than one?
The one with the dude from Wings? or another
Yeah.
one?
That's the remake.
That, you think that's faster paced?
That's the remake.
The Rebecca De Mornay and the dude from Wings, and
Yeah, that's the remake.
I didn't think that was faster paced, but they
Yeah.
did have a couple. They did have a couple of things they didn't have in the original, and the Jack Nicholson version is not the same thing.
Right. And
But I thought it was a better version anyway.
I just think the Jack Nicholson version is I like the movie, and I am fascinated by some of the cinematography with it, and what they've done with spatial relationships and stuff. I mean, it's really cool. But I've always thought it's a
You're
pretty
talking
slow-paced
art
movie.
now.
What?
If you're talking the art term shit now,
Yeah,
the
well,
artsy fartsy term shit now.
well, but when you're thinking about horror and the unknown, and when your eye can be deceived by spatial relationships, and then when you realize your perception is wrong, and then you can't explain what's there, it adds to a sense of foreboding. Like, it is a really neat visual storytelling trick. I don't know about
So you would say that Shining is a gimmick movie?
well, I'm saying the director's. I would say the pacing for me requires you to really think about what the director's putting you through. And yeah, I thought the remake was faster paced, but
I like that it included the
topiaries.
topiary scene, but I didn't think it was faster paced. It was more accurate. So I mean, I'm not gonna really diss it, but I like the Jack Nicholson version because I like Jack Nicholson better than whatever the Wings actor's name is. But
Well.
you know, that's one of those opinion-based things. And
Yeah.
my suggestion is watch the Jack Nicholson version. His suggestion is watch the other version.
No. I just say they're two different beasts, and
Oh no,
I appreciate them differently.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm saying you're recommending that one, and that's fine. I recommend the other one. Not, both of them are good. I agree, but
Oversteer, it's quarter after 11 or so p.m. Oversteer also said it, as in I'm assuming Stephen King's It,
oh boy,
was just bad.
I
think the TV series is actually better.
Yeah, Tim Curry just owned that role.
Yeah. I never saw Maze Runner. Oversteer said Maze Runner always spooked me. I never saw it.
I saw Maze Runner. My daughter read the book, and she was alright with the first one. The second one, not so much. But she was expecting it to be. I mean, she's watching it and she's going, "That didn't happen. That didn't happen." So I'm like, yeah, I know where she gets it from.
Oversteer said it's like 10 minutes to 8 there.
Just about time for school.
Scorched Trial was the worst book I read. It was an acid trip. Huh.
Well, she read them all. I did not, so I can't speak on that at all. Though I'm writing something for somebody that does his website.
Uh, well, Overseer said the book had no coherency, but the movie managed to keep a consistent story.
Oh, my daughter would probably disagree with you. She liked the book. She hated the movie.
Oh,
That's all I got on that because like I said, I didn't read it, so I don't have a valid opinion on it.
yeah, I never
I
read
mean,
it or
I
saw
can give you
it.
my opinion of the movie, and it was meh. It didn't stick out to me. I don't even remember much about it at all. I remember them going into this like wreckage canyon, like dystopian canyon thing, and that's about it.
The book, it ended with Thomas locked in the White Room. With Ratman. Okay. Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler alert for me anyway. Like, I didn't read the book, and if you had any clue how many books that I've read and that I'm reading right now, you wouldn't worry about spoilers too much because chances are I'm not going to go back and read it. Like, I'm reading 3 books right now.
Overseer said the best book of all time is Metro 2033.
Well,
I have not read the best book of all time then.
I'm going to say we're probably not in agreement on that one. At least so far as I've read, that is, not even on my radar. I gotta be honest, right? I don't even have it on my radar. I won't even know what to go with it from there.
Dmitry Glukovsky is a great author. They made it into a game series. Oh, cool.
Well, there you go. I mean, now maybe it makes it onto our radar and we go,
Oh, it was this.
Probably not. It's a game series. Is that what you say?
Well, they made it into a game series. But the books are Metro 2033, 2034, and 2035. So yeah, it's a series of books. And Oversteer, I'm going to ask you a question. If you have the right answer, you're going to increase the likelihood of Rich ever looking at these books. Does the series come to an end?
Rhett is on the fucking nose with that one.
You're always
If
talking
there's no
about...
end in sight, I'm not reading them.
Yeah, but if it ends,
Then
then...
it's possible.
Yeah, Oversteer said, yes, it's over. See? Yeah, that's the right answer.
someone who can, have a beginning, middle, and end.
So I'm gonna say that it's a sci-fi, maybe
It's-
soft sci-fi.
It's set after a nuclear fallout.
And I've got to ask another question. How many books set after a nuclear fallout have you read? Distinctly different books, by the way.
What's that mean?
Huh?
What do you mean by distinctly different books?
And then I'm not counting all the books in that series
Oh, okay.
or books that are based on that series.
So,
I'm not trying to be
Overseer
harsh.
said-
But you know what I'm saying, right, Brett?
Yeah. So, Overseer said it's set after a nuclear fallout in Russia. People stay in the largest air raid shelter, the Moscow Metro, and that it's very poetic.
So I'm gonna guess. Yeah.
I mean, some of that stuff, a lot of psychic stuff. Okay. Especially if it's set in Russia, it's probably not going to get a lot of publicity. I'm going to get. I mean, I don't know. I suppose I could look it up. I don't know. I guess.
Have you
Maybe I
ever
shouldn't say
read
anything.
the comic book Red Star?
Have I?
Well, I guess that question's up for grabs, but I was specifically asking him because that's sort of an alternate fantasy futuristic Russia after Holocaust too.
Yeah, people are fighting against Dark Ones, basically mutants. It's translated to English, and he hasn't read many comics.
See, I'm not turned off by the Russia because one of my favorite movies is Enemy at the Gates,
Yeah.
and that basically it's a Russian hero. So that's not really a factor for me.
Well, Rich, I've got more time on my hands right now. I might check it out. Then maybe I'll tell you if you should.
What's that?
That Metro 2033.
Oh. Should I give you a whole list of movies to watch?
Yeah, I still feel guilty if I spend time watching movies.
Oh, and what about Red October?
You mean The Hunt for Red October?
Yeah, that's the only Red October I can think of.
Well, I'm sure Red October is the October Revolution too, right? Which would be when Lenin came to power, the
Right.
Bolsheviks and all that.
I don't know about what movie that'd be.
What's that?
I'm assuming he's talking about a film or a book series, and the only thing I can think of is, The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah. That's what I asked because that's the same thing. I'm like, I'm in the same boat. I was like, the only thing I can think of like that is The Hunt for Red October.
With the most authentically Russian captain ever.
Yeah, right. The Russian with a brogue. Don't you know that the Hurricanes have a road?
In Metro, people formed their own systems in the Metro. You got communists, fascists, a station which dies at night and comes alive in the morning. Okay. Yes. And we were correct. Overseer meant the hunt for Red October.
As far as books go, I could never get through it. The only problem I had with the movie was Alec Baldwin.
Really? I mean, I don't know.
I don't
literally
mind,
the.
I don't
like.
mind my submarine captain, Russian submarine captains having a brew.
Yeah. Yes. uh,
I don't like that. I think I'm gonna take that away.
Overseer said, all right, I'm heading out. We'll pop on for the next stream. Go read Metro.
Hey,
Thanks for hanging out, Overseer.
probably not, but maybe I'll see if it's on Audible or something.
I might look it up tomorrow. I'll let you know if I do.
What's that?
I said I might look it up. So.
Yeah, cool.
I saw a lot of cannibals in Metro. Okay.
Ah, shit.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
I'm gonna guess this fucking thing is leaking. And put it leaked all over my eraser. I don't like that. However, it's acrylic. And if I can keep my hand out of the fan now. Yeah, I started to erase the pencil lines and it smeared the Oscar white because it wasn't dry. Just adding more character to my desk. That's it. That's it. It ain't funny. No, you ain't, sir, punk. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh, sir. Oh, Yuki.
No, sir.
He respectfully disagrees.
Yes.
If you hear him, he's like, no, sir.
Don't.
Nuh-uh, sir. The dog is sleeping upstairs.
Your car.
You're all good with that, right?
You're fine. No barking.
He's fine because he's not barking.
No, not today.
Not today. Well, you know, I think that dog is pretty grateful that he doesn't have to be in that apartment all by himself for an indefinite amount of time.
I'm assuming the dog knew who you guys were at least a little bit, right?
Amanda has been like, so the dog's owner. Amanda's friends with her, and she's in a place where she can't have dogs right now.
Right.
A temporary amount of time. And her daughter, like, I guess, stopped living with her, which is weird because I never knew that. And I've seen her over there, but apparently she just stops in once in a while to feed the dog, and she took the cat, but not the dog. So the short answer is yes, but the dog knows Amanda a little bit better than just occasionally, because Amanda's been like making hot dog treats for him and helping out with him for a while. Like if the owner couldn't get home to take him out to walk him or take him out to go to the bathroom or whatever, Amanda would do that. So it's just he has a trust with Amanda, and this dog is a shelter dog. So now this dog is a shelter dog, so he doesn't like guys at all. He's just getting used to me, and the owner of the dog's father lived with her for a little while, but then her stepmother, I don't even know the exact relationships here. So, but then her father's wife has leukemia or something and took a turn for the worse. So he went back down wherever they are to be with her in case it was her last days, you know. And that left the dog alone when she was gone. And she had to go. You know, I'll put this in the private chat real quick now that I'm spilling white all over myself. She's a single parent, and Amanda is very she's like right there to help anybody outside of our immediate family. She's like she's very dependable friend. And you know, to the point sometimes where I even admire her tenacity for being loyal, faithful. So when the owner went in to do what she needed to do, Amanda got sick of hearing him whine because, like, literally when her father went back, the dog was crying at night because Dad was gone, which was pretty sad, you know.
Right.
And then when she heard it, when the owner was gone for what she needs to be gone for, she's all like, well, she waited until like 1 o'clock in the morning and she was like, yeah, you can't do it. So now she went and got him and brought him over. I don't think I like that either. Before I go questioning myself, wait about it. So that's the reason I use the pasta. I can draw back over it, where if I use whiteout or whatever, you really can't. Took me a bit to learn that when you're using microns,
Yeah.
you have to push very, very light to get the effect that you want to. These lines, if you push hard, they won't get there. So sometimes I end up throwing them a little bit more crooked than I want to. Yeah, seriously, I've been waiting for you to watch House of Flying Daggers since we started this thing. You know, like, no, I've got time.
Yeah, but
What's that?
I have a hard time sitting still for anything that long.
House of Flying Daggers is not that long.
No, like literally, I haven't been able to sit for much more than a YouTube video before I start feeling like I'm should be writing.
I do that too, and then I open a document and don't write.
Yep.
It's weird, but I don't know what it is about me, but for some particular reason, I can't write until later. Like, I didn't have that problem always, but for some reason recently, I can't write until everyone's in bed and settled down. See how tight I can focus on him.
Oh, here we. Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty good.
get the character out of the way. It almost looks like a professional do it. Almost.
What?
No, you're crazy. If you think you love me more, you're absolutely nuts. You are crazy. Loco in the cabeza. I can't say that.
No more.
I'm saying it more. What do you do about it?
Okay.
Nothing. That's right.
No more.
No, you don't. You take that back.
No, sir.
If you weren't so cute, kapow!
Why?
He says, no, don't dare think about it. Okay.
What do you want, sir? Dog after sleeping.
Is the dog sleeping?
No bug tonight.
He's not gonna bark tonight.
No, not tonight. I'm gonna go after mom. See? Dog go back out after.
No. That dog will go back home when he has somebody to keep him company and instead of leaving him to mule all night.
Okay, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Oh, I'm thinking it's probably not going to happen tonight. I'm pretty sure I'm sleeping on the couch and the dog is sleeping on my side of the bed. I think that's pretty much it.
There.
Damn it.
What?
Ram Man just keeps popping out. What he looks like to me, and I just drives me crazy. It's somewhere between Ram Man and Beefcake the Mighty.
Okay.
Of balls, action dogs of death. So I got an how is it called now?
Excommunicated.
Yes, I got an excommunicated here, chasing after this dude. This is the Blood Runner suit now because it's simple. It's got a visor that lifts and pretty much some gauntleted gloves and boots, and then the rest of it's kind of like a regular hiking outfit, like a mountain climbing outfit or something of that ilk. Alright. Well, that's it for tonight. And he's inked. What do you think?
That's pretty cool.
Almost professional.
Almost.
Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks whoever, if they like and subscribe and all that. Oh, now he's back. He's like, don't leave yet. Just in time to see the finishes.
Yeah, Oversteer.
And to hear our goodnight Gracies. Anyway, good night. God bless. Much love.
Peace.